that haven't been thought of before. But don't waste your time with that stuff. Not in the beginning, especially. I teach people, build up the base of income for your lifestyle that you want. Then you can take risks and try to invent things.
Right.
But so you can type in a keyword, look at the ads. If there are a lot of ads running, that's a good sign. I say this, competition on the internet is not only a good thing, it is the best of things.
Why?
For many reasons. One is it validates that the market is there and money is flowing.
People want that product, that service.
People are already spending money there, or it wouldn't support the fact that people can pay ads to get in front of those people.
Right.
The second thing, and we could talk about it a little bit later because it's kind of beyond this, is once you get things going and you want to leverage that and scale the growth of your activity on the internet, you're going to want to be able to tap into all the marketing assets and reach and distribution and traffic of other people.
You're going to want to affiliate or partner, and we'll talk about it more depth later on. These are people, the very people you compete with could become your partners.
Well, that's exactly it.
Right.
That's exactly it.
Right.
So you type in a keyword, you see what ads are there, you can go and investigate. And if you keep an eye on the ads, you'll figure out which ones are making money, which ones have a solid business reaching that market. And then you can see, you see what their ad is that they're paying for. You click on the ad. You see what web page you land on. What does the web page say? Right. What is it asking the visitor to do? If they're selling a product, how much are they selling it for? How are they describing the product? What graphics are they using to get you to buy it? And if you buy it, what do they send you next?
Right.
Is there real business the fact that, you go to a gardening website that sells an ebook or some kind of information on how to have a successful garden? Or is it when you buy the gardening ebook and they send you this stuff in the mail and buying this $3,000 irrigation machine or something?
Right, where they make all their money.
But you can figure out someone's entire business by just opening your eyes and using the internet for a competitive research tool.
All just looking at AdSense.
Yeah, starting with ads, clicking on the ads, following it through and seeing what they sell, how they sell it, what their prices are, what they send people, what their marketing is, what they send.
The same way you did with magazines when you first started.
That is exactly right. And
same
it's just
exact thing.
It's
a hell of a lot more convenient.
The internet it's just the most amazing tool ever for business. It really is. To figure out where to make money and how money's being made and then just to do it too. So I teach people to find out where the money is flowing, and then not copy or clone people, but try to find out what people are already doing and then do something complementary that's slightly different but kind of reaching the same needs of the same customer.
Right.
Because if you don't just go and rip someone off and you do something complementary to the market, well, now those people can become your partners. And the other thing I like...
Can you give an example?
Yeah, sure. So, one of the things I like to teach people is that when people... there's a whole myth around the element of the term "my customers."
Yes.
That's a 1960s phrase, where they go to your general store and they're not going to the other general store. Well, business is different. There's no such thing as my customers. Your customers are not exclusive. They buy from other people. And so knowing that, when a person's interested in anything, I use the example of like Corvettes. Some guy wants to get a Corvette. He goes to Barnes & Noble. It's in the bookstore. What does he come out with? 3 magazines on Corvettes, 5 books on Corvettes.
Yeah.
And so
different companies, different brands.
Yeah, absolutely. So on the internet, affiliate marketing is a $7-8 billion a year industry, and it's growing. If people don't know what affiliate marketing is, it's essentially where you can pay someone for any sales they refer to your website. Little technology, they give you, they're given a link. They can send the traffic. Anyone can do this for hundreds of thousands of companies online. You can be in the toy business today, the hardware business tomorrow, anything else where you can
write a blog about something that you're
passionate
a toy you
about,
really love.
whatever.
And you put a link, and
you put a link to people.
You get a royalty basically. You get an income
If
stream.
you're writing about gardening,
Commission.
you can link to a company that sells gardening tools. Anyone clicks and buys the tools, you're getting paid.
Right.
Great way to make money,
Right.
And so in doing that, knowing that as well, that people buy other things, it's in almost everyone's best interest on the internet to partner with other people in their industry, because like I said, because there's no such thing as my customers, it's not exclusive, because people are going to buy from other companies, your other competitors, you might as well get paid.
Right.
So if you do something complementary, you can promote other people's products that go along with yours in the same industry that you found with that research and those
vice
ads.
versa.
Yeah, and vice versa, and make money that way and make them your partner as well. It's incredibly powerful. The millions of dollars that are being made by myself, other marketers, a lot of people in the series that you're interviewing most of them have that in common. They've tapped into leveraging all the traffic and all that other stuff that other people are doing on the internet to get to their customers, their traffic, and everything else. And it's all electronic. There's almost no cost.
Well, it's almost like a traditional business would say, the great part of my business is my brand and my customers. When you went to the web, it became my brand and my list. And now what you're saying is really it's my affiliate relationships. It's everybody's lists. It's everybody's customers that I can serve with them and vice versa. We can keep meeting their needs. I don't have to be the exclusive source of the actual product, but we want to together serve the same customer.
Absolutely. Deliver value to the same group of people. And of course, that's where it all starts. You need to be delivering value for whatever it is that you're doing.
Yes.
But yeah, partnering with other people in the market.
Now, let me take it back a step, and I want to come back to your story too.
Sure.
But as long as we're here. Okay. First step, I want to get into business, or I'm in business. First thing I got to do is discover what's really working. So I'm already in a business. I better go to AdSense, or I better go someplace and see who's succeeding in my industry and why.
Right.
And then be able to reverse engineer, model what works, and then say, what can I bring to the table that'll make me competitive, but in a way where I'm adding some niche, some value, something someone else hasn't done. So whether I'm starting a business from scratch, or now I want to validate that that's going to work.
So step one in that process isn't making your own product, isn't creating your own thing to sell, isn't figuring out what the complementary thing is. The step one of validating that is knowing for yourself that some of those people running the ads and doing things are doing something that works. They are collecting money from the market. So most of these companies in all these different segments and industries online have affiliate programs because of the power of that thing of having other people send you traffic and just pay money after. It's a great deal. It's like, Tony, it's like, I'll give you, $10, or I'll give you $5 for every $10 you give me. I'll do that all day long, so for every sale. So what you do is you can start by becoming an affiliate in any market and just driving traffic there. You can buy ads with Google that people see on the sides when you type in any keyword, and you can use your little affiliate link they will give you to track your activity. You can start running ads right now within an hour, have the ad up, someone clicks on it, they goes to that merchant site, and they buy the product, you can get paid a commission.
Right.
That's one model for affiliate marketing.
Right.
Send them directly from the ad.
Right.
So that's one way to validate the market. If you start making money that way, then you could say, wow, the money is flowing in this market. I see how to reach it with this type of ad. And then you can think about creating like your own product or sourcing your own product.
So let's make it clear for a second.
Sure.
So there's 3 phases we're talking about. First, you want to discover where the money's flowing.
Yes.
And you're going to do that by being aware. You can see it in magazines. You can do it online more effectively.
Type in the keywords, see if there are ads. If there are no ads, there's probably not a lot of money there.
See if they keep running, see which of the successful ones are, kind of reverse engineer. Now I go to validate it. I can validate it 2 ways. One is I can become an affiliate of those people already running ads, and I can go run my own ads.
Right. You don't need a website. You can just place the ads that go directly to their website.
That's amazing. So now they've got the product, they've got the website,
see if it
they
sells.
sell it, they do everything. All I have to do is I find a way to get people to go to their website.
And by the way,
test it.
there are people, Tony, that make over $1 million a year only doing that model where they're in all different markets just sending the traffic from ads directly to the merchant site. They don't ever set up their own website.
That's unbelievable.
So there are, the game.
Total leverage. They don't have to have any stocking fees.
Right,
They don't have to worry about credit card processing. They don't have to create a product. They don't have to build a website. So one way to test it is that. The other way is I could actually run my own ads and create more of what my product really would be, what I think I want it to be. So I can validate before I go spending the time to build that thing that people really want it. Then the third stage is, let's say I've discovered and I've validated. I know this thing will work. And I've done it really efficient. I haven't used a lot of money to do it. I haven't taken big risks. I've learned from everybody else's risks. I've used their money, their leverage, their time. Now I want to leverage up and maximize. Instead of taking a big risk, I want to instead of, or just making a little bit of money, I want to make this go. What do you do at that phase? Because that's what you've been best at. How do you really leverage?
So at this point, what you want to do is you got your product that you know is going to sell because you drove some traffic to it and got the validation. People are trying to order it.
Right.
So at this stage, you end up having the thing to sell. So now you keep running those same ads and collect it.
Right.
And of course, you keep track of your metrics to know how much you're spending according to how much that's yielding for you. And doing so by keyword. The one thing people really need to understand about internet marketing is every keyword, every search phrase someone is typing for has to be considered, this is the way I kind of phrase the imaging for people, it needs to be considered like a separate miniature business in and of itself. Because every keyword phrase that someone types in has a total different reaction to what it will do.
Can you give us some examples?
Sure. So let's say you're selling, baseball bats.
Okay.
And let's say one of the keywords is just like, Louisville Slugger, or it's like metal baseball bats. Well, the term Louisville Slugger could convert, 1 out of 10 people that click the ad may buy that actual Louisville Slugger bat from your website. But other people just typing in metal baseball bats, if they came to your site, even if you had metal baseball bats, they may never buy. That it's each key. It's incredible, the psychographics and the demographics that are.
Well, words produce emotion, and emotion produces action, right?
So the only way to figure that stuff out without guesswork is, of course, this is how all this business work is to let the math and results speak for themselves. No matter what you think, anybody that's even been successful in this, including all the people in the series or anyone else, we could not predict what's going to happen from all these different things. You never really know. Some things that you think are going to turn out with a lot of activity don't. So you just test. That's the beauty of the internet. You can test on a small level, get the results, and then ramp it up once it's proven. You just go by math and math only, not emotion, not your gut, not what you think will happen or want to happen. So anyways, so you place the ads, and when you do, you have to test per keyword. You know, and Google makes it really easy. You can put code on your page, and whatever your results are, it knows what the different keywords are that created the sales.
So in other words, it knows who came for what reason.
Exactly.
And tally it up.
Exactly.
So you don't have to wonder.
And so the beauty of that scale-up process is you continue to do more of what's working and making money. You stop doing what's not making money.
Right.
So the ads and clicks you pay for that didn't yield any sales after a while, you stop paying for those, and you try to pay for more of the ones that are, while you try to find more that you can test to figure out.
Now, how do let's say I own a business, or I've started this new business and I'm selling this product, and I'm searching for words, and I've begun to validate people do it, and I want to leverage up. I want more words that are going to bring more eyeballs to my site that converts. I'm successful, or my business that converts. Is there a overall, I guess I would assume it relates to the price point that you have, the amount of profit or margin in your product, but is there a range of I think we talked about 6 cents to 30 cents or 20 to 30 cents that overall tends to give you enough margin to be able to be successful in terms of the cost of that name?
I mean, I typically shoot for what's called a dollar visitor value.
Can you explain that?
Yeah, sure. So if you spend X amount of money on advertising and all those people land on your website, and if you take the total of all the money that was produced in gross.
So let's say you ran an ad for the baseball bats.
Right.
And you ran X number of ads and you spent, $10,000 on that.
Right.
Okay. And now I come back and I get to see what that converts to, the total volume.
Right. So if the
and
total.
It made me $20,000.
Right. So then if you divide the 10,000 people that ended up on the site into the amount of money that they spent, you get an average per person.
Oh, per person. Got it.
So it's per visitor.
Got it.
So that would be, $2 is what this example would be.
Right.
So if you had 10,000 people come, they spent $20,000 in total, because a lot of those people aren't going to buy, they're just going to leave.
Right.
Divide that number into the total, you get the average visitor value. So it would be $2 per person. Well, what that tells you now is, in theory at least, before you test it, that a keyword that's going to convert about the same as wherever that other traffic came from that produced the 20,000, if you can buy it for less than $2 a click, you're going to make a profit.
Interesting, yeah.
So I typically, in the beginning, try to shoot for at least $1 per visitor in return.
So that's the value.
Even if it's not profitable, but $1 per visitor in return, because I know if I can get about that, I can find ways to
tweak things.
Exactly.
Sure.
Get the conversions up, pay less for ads to get higher response, so on and so forth.
So you have you're validating it's something you can scale.
Yes.
You can take it in larger and larger
Yes.
numbers.
And
Because you just get more and more words.
That's the beauty of internet marketing.
It's a universe where people are going out looking for things every hour, every moment, billions and billions of searches. And if they use those words, you're going to show up. It's for where the level you've paid for it. They're going to see you and they're going to respond to you. All comes
It's the
down
most
to what
powerful
you pay.
thing ever. I mean, you can set up a Google AdWords account. You can go into your account. They have a keyword suggestion tool. You can type in baseball bat. It'll tell you thousands of other related things that people have been searching for related to that.
Right.
And
So
then
guide you, because Google makes money by
Of
getting
course,
you to invest
they
in.
want you to be advertising. That's
Right.
how they make the billions that they do.
Right.
So you could just use all that incredible data and then start running more and more ads. But the beauty of internet marketing, the beauty of it is you don't have to be like me when I had risked $5,000 on credit cards to place one display ad in a magazine that I waited for 3 months before it even come out anyways to find out if I'd even make $100 in return and lose my butt, which I did many, many times.
Yes.
You can do everything on the internet in very small, calculated steps. And so when
So it takes very little money and very little
It's
time
$50
to
in
figure out
many
what's going to
cases.
work.
You can spend $50 to discover keywords that will turn into $1 million a year business.
Wow.
And you don't spend $1,000 or $5,000 or $10,000 until you prove one way or another that the $50 was a good spend.
Now, by the way, if this was still quite a bit of math for you really quick here, we are going to do a webinar with you where you'll walk through this. You'll be able to ask questions directly related to your field or your company or the business you want to start. And man, you'll get a chance to be guided right through this, by John. Let's do this. Let's turn back for a second to your story. So we left off. I'm glad we went into the content. You usually kind of get your story, then take to how you did this, but they're so interwoven with you. So here you are, you become the domain man.
Right.
And now you start to see the internet and you're starting to learn some of the things you're now sharing with us. Where did you really start to, because what I want to track is you got to $1 million in 24 hours.
Right.
most people becoming a millionaire was a big goal. You know, $1 million in a year would be amazing, but $1 million in 24 hours. You know, the only way people thought of that is the jackpot and the lottery, right?
Right.
So, and no one's ever done it in the history of the internet. To get to that $1 million, you didn't start there. Obviously, we've gotten some of you started being totally depressed, you know, in the Thorazine rock, you know, your car, not willing to go in and get your Subway sandwich.
Yeah, right.
I mean, that's where you were. And then you got through that crap only to make 900% or $900 and then go into a deep depression again. But somehow through all that stuff, you've whittled your way and you learned from everything. That's really even the bottom. And now you say, hey guys, there's a way to learn faster, quicker, with less risk. Here's the 3 steps. Discover, right? Validate, and then leverage that sucker up and start to maximize.
And everything for me, like it is almost for any success story, that someone that builds a lot of wealth, everything started accelerating for me.
Yeah, you get momentum.
Yeah, at a momentum, exactly. It's a very rapid pace. So went from the domains, I had the little eBay product, I created some other products. I was an affiliate marketer for many, many years and still am today.
Yes.
And, you know, was selling other people's things and making money from that. I was brokering traffic, doing all these different things. And then...
And what's happening to your income at this stage? Because you're really making money now, finally.
Sure. You know, like I said, the first year for me was like $6,500.
How old are you at this stage, at that point?
I don't know, like 24 years old, 23, 24 years old. So I think my progression, I went from like $6,500 to like $80,000.
At 25?
Yeah, and then to like $300,000, and then over $1 million, and then multiple millions. And
wow.
So
amazing.
So after that point of doing these different things, it was right after the .com crash that I was getting emails from people and seeing ads for like internet marketing seminars.
Right.
And at this point, you know, I had like no social life. You know, my health probably still wasn't all that good even when I was making money. I was still just all into the computer. It was fun for me. I really enjoyed it.
Right.
And I had learned about like internet seminars. There were these seminars around the United States, around the world actually. There was a few here and there in different countries, it wasn't just the US, that were about internet marketing and making money with the internet.
Right.
And so I kept seeing them, and for years I knew about them, I just never went. Well, in 2001, I decided, you know what, I'm just going to go to one of these things. Maybe I'll learn some stuff. And so I went, and I remember sitting in the audience and listening to these guys speak on the stage that were, you know, selling their box of stuff and talking about how to get rich on the internet. And I remember just sitting there listening intently to all these people. And I was there ready to take notes, and I started taking note of the first guy, and then I stopped.
Yeah.
And what I realized were that not all of them, but most of these speakers of the event were just full of crap.
They'd never really done it. They were just trying to sell it.
They were talking about, you know, saying how they were giving advice about how to do things, running ads and doing things. And I knew scientifically, without a doubt, that what they were saying was false because I had the data, those results that have so much value that we talked about, of how things work and what doesn't work on the internet. I knew that what they were saying was wrong. I was like, and so what happened, it was weird at that event, I just started talking to a couple of attendees, and we were just, you know, shooting the bull about, you know, what do you do online, what do you do, and I was just, you know, I was just helping people, sharing. I felt really in my element. I felt very alive at that event, and I was just sharing what I had learned for those past 8 years or so of doing all the internet marketing testing that I had done and the success that I had. And it was weird. So at that event, it ended up till 4 o'clock in the morning one night in the hotel lobby. Had like 30, 40 people around me, and I was just sharing and teaching, and people were just, you know, just so happy about it.
Because it was the real stuff.
Yeah, and people, it was, I felt bad, you know, kind of, it was almost like impolite, because I didn't mean to like step on anyone's toes that was there speaking. I was just really trying to help other people because I lived and breathed this stuff. So what happened was people complained to like the speaker promoter, the seminar promoter of that event. You know, they were saying, why is this John Reese guy that I just met not one of the speakers? He knows more than most of these guys that are speaking. And so I eventually got invited to speak, you know, at other seminars and that. And, you know, I wasn't selling anything. I wasn't a guru. I wasn't selling make money products for the internet marketing crowd. I just started going to more seminars and, you know, just really got into the whole culture, and I enjoyed helping people. And then, so I guess it was about the beginning of 2003, I met our mutual friend, Frank Kern. Yeah. Him and I became very good friends, and we were both doing things online, different things, different markets, doing other things. I met Jeff Walker, of course, who's also in this series. And so we all just, you know, started sharing more and more information. And I started publishing a free newsletter, just an email newsletter, helping people with internet marketing. I had nothing to sell. I was just giving advice, sharing more stuff that I shared in the hotel lobby through email. And so a few months after I had met Frank, Frank was living in Georgia. I was living in Florida. He came down to visit me, and we were just sitting around, you know, watching TV, playing video games, killing each other or something. And Frank was like, you know, he's like, you've built an incredible following of people that are so interested in what you've learned with this internet marketing stuff. You really need to sell a product. You're an idiot for not one, giving them what they want, way more in value than what you charge, but that you could make a lot of money. And I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to do that. And so I don't really want to make a product. I already made the eBay video. It was a lot of work. He's like, well, just do an event, do a seminar, and just teach just you for a weekend. At this point in our industry, no one had really done that. It was all different speakers. And so I was like, okay. And Frank was like, but you got to charge a lot of money for it because your stuff's so valuable. And I remember Frank was adamant about saying, so charge $5,000 for it. At this point, no one had charged that kind of money. And it was so weird. I don't know if it was a confidence thing or whatever else. I just couldn't make myself charge $5,000, so I charged $4,500.
Oh, big change.
Yeah, it was great. I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. So right before I put up the website and announced that I was going to do this event and sell this high dollar workshop, I was talking to Jeff Walker on the phone.
Yeah.
And Jeff at this time was
He was known as the launch strategy guy.
Of course, he'd done a lot of things in the stock trading market and other markets. Him and I became friends, and he was known as 6 and 7, and he even had a website that said 6 and 7 because he had the most amazing thing of accomplishing. Most people think of doing 100,000 a year as an income, which is a phenomenal number, and it's a great number, and a lot of people think way beyond that, but it's still 6 figures is a great salary.
It's a great life.
And so he did it in a week with a product launch and his stock trading stuff.
Oh, 6 means 6 figures in 7
Yeah,
days.
6 and 7, six figures in 7 days.
So $100,000 in a week.
Yeah, exactly. And so Jeff was giving me some advice for, he really believed in me as a teacher. He said, and I had helped him with some of his business. He's like, people need what you have to share. And he goes, I want to help you market your seminar. And he was giving me advice. He's like, because I was just going to put up a page and say, go to it and buy. And he's like, no, here's what you got to do. And Jeff taught me the value of building anticipation.
Right.
Kind of like the music industry when they announce that a CD's coming out before it's released, or a movie trailer they put out way before it comes out.
Right.
I find most people in their lives, this is a takeaway people can use that are listening to this, anything you do in your business, we're going to sell anything. You never want to just come out with it and say, here it is.
Right.
You want to kind of tease people and build up the excitement. I find most people are very bored in their lives. They need something to look forward to.
So true.
Very powerful, something to look forward to. So if they have something of interest to look forward to buy, the numbers are going to be much higher when it's available for sale. So Jeff taught me this principle. I promoted the seminar that Frank encouraged me to do. I built up the anticipation. Then I opened it up for registrations, and I did $100,000 in 12 minutes.
Wow.
And of course, Jeff and I becoming friends, gave him competitive ribbing. I'm like, I just did in 12 minutes what it took you in 7 days. He was very happy for me and stuff.
That's great.
And then I ended up shutting the sales of the. I took the website down for the workshop to really see how many seats I was going to have available. And then I ended up opening up again, and I ended up with over 100 people at that event. It was very, very successful. So I ended up taking the recordings from that event and making a product. Frank told me that. He's like, you don't have to sit down and make the product. Just do an event and record it.
Right.
It's like you're getting paid for making a product. And by the way, that's something people listening to this can do in any industry. It's not just like the marketing industry.
Right.
If you're in any kind of business where you're selling expertise, where you're teaching people, how to do quilting or whatever else, you could do a workshop on quilting, record it, and then use that to sell forever as a product.
For people that didn't get to go.
Yeah,
to
of
get the
course.
experience,
It's a proven model. That's
No doubt.
pretty much your business, or a big
certainly
part
is.
of it. So
Certainly.
that's a model you can apply to any business. That's pretty good, getting paid to make the product.
Right. Totally true.
Right, and then selling the product.
Totally
So if you validate a market where they're going to buy some kind of expertise like we talked about, you may want to do a little workshop or an online event like a webinar that you can
So
sell.
tell me something now.
Sure.
So you were smashing records at 100,000 in 12 minutes.
Yeah, the most I'd ever done before that, my biggest week was for the eBay product that I built up to.
Sure.
But I kind of cheated because I had all the people that were in the validation process that
That
said
you
they
just
wanted to buy
delivered
it.
to at that point.
So I did like 20-something thousand in a week, which was still huge. I mean, so then doing this 100,000 in like 12 minutes, and turning it off, it did 100-something thousand in a day. It was really what it ended up with. So even though it came in real fast, it was like in a 24-hour period, it did like $100,000, which was just mind-blowing to me.
But here's what I want people to get.
Sure.
In order to get to making $1 million in a day, you had to first, at some stage, build the sense of certainty of what was possible, right?
Yes.
So $100,000 in 12 minutes was not even possible before, and you made that happen. Before that, it was $20,000, in a day. There was a stage we were talking before. You said the first real breakthrough for you was wasn't it like $4,500 in a day? Because I want people at home to think, well, these are great, huge numbers, but I don't know if even there's a market at that size or scope. But for most people, if they could make an extra $4,000 or $5,000 a month, have another $50,000 or $60,000 a
Yeah,
year. It
absolutely.
would change their life.
I mean,
part-time doing something
The
with
first
leverage is
breakthrough
great.
for me was making my first dollar, just so I know, hey, this isn't a bunch of crap. That the system works. That people can send you money for stuff. Like that was the first biggest thing. And so, but the next big thing was probably I did about a $4,500 day for me, which we talked about. When I did the $900, I thought I was the biggest rock star in the world on the domain deal. So $4,500 was a big deal. So my mind just kept ratcheting up another notch of belief.
And now with that certainty, now you make 100,000 in 12 minutes. When did you start saying I'm targeting $1 million? Because that was the 4-minute mile for this industry. No one had ever even dreamed of.
So what my plans were all along anyways, because Frank getting me to do the event, to record the product, to have a product to sell forever to the market, I was getting the DVDs edited, or the videos edited into DVDs from the event. I started getting affiliates on board and doing all the things to be able to release it. And so in starting to see, what kind of interest there was, and I started thinking, this is going to be a lot more popular than the event, because now people don't have to travel to it and stuff. And so I just started really thinking bigger and bigger numbers. And so I started thinking maybe $1 million is possible. I didn't know for sure. No one knows for sure. But I started thinking in that mindset. Of course, I wouldn't have been disappointed if it was a $10 million day or a $500,000 day. But I was thinking on a higher level that it was going to be something greater. And so I was just assuming it was going to happen and started planning as if it was going to. Again, I was going to be disappointed if it was 200,000. So I just started thinking that and planning for that. And as the day came closer and closer, I was like, this is going to happen. I just could feel it. Because I was doing all the right things to kind of be in that mindset. And it's great because most people are like, well, it's kind of a crapshoot that happened or whatever else. And it was, the total numbers for so when the product was released, it did like 1,018,000 or something in 24 hours. It crossed the million mark in 18 hours. But, some people are like, well, that's just how it worked out. Well, the neat thing is, and it's a fact, people can look it up right now, 7 days before I launched that product, I registered the domain name milliondollarday.com.
How cool.
7 days before that day. And people can go look it up right now in Network Solutions or in any registrar and see the proof. That I believe it was on August 10th that I registered the name, around that period. In
2004, right?
Yeah, the launch was August 17th, 2004. So when that launch happened, and I had shared with you off camera, that for me that day was just amazing because just the timing of it all. A hurricane had hit Orlando. This Hurricane Charlie, I believe it was, just devastated Central Florida where I live.
And that's where you're going to run your campaign.
Yeah, that's where I was going to release the product, do the launch, which was due like the next day. So I had to pry open and break my electric garage door because there was no power, and to get the car out of there, I drove an hour and a half north to where my parents lived, and I set up the command center, with a friend at the time that was helping me to run the launch from there. And in hindsight, it was the most eloquent thing that ever happened to me because my family got to, kind of experience and enjoy the $1 million day, the whole thing that happened. And my dad, it was, my parents were always very supportive of me, even when I was $100,000 in debt, And it was great. I told you off camera, my dad ran a whiteboard. And our goal from the beginning, before the launch, was, $1 million. How many sales is it going to take? And the moment we opened the shopping cart to let people start ordering, he was manning the board, marking down what was left, what was left, what was left. He manned that thing for 18 hours until it happened.
Wow.
He stood, he watched TV and, of course, waited for
the
a
level of
report.
energy and celebration in your family must have been just...
It was euphoric. It was pretty freaky. So what's great is, at...
And what did your dad used to make a year when you were a kid growing up? Or what was the mindset of what they wanted you to make back in those days?
Yeah, $100,000 if I had worked really, really hard and moved up the corporate ladder. One day, maybe.
I thought you said 40 grand was kind of the number.
Well, 40 grand for me, that was the number I wanted that would keep me from having to get a real job.
Oh, so that was your target.
That was my personal lifestyle.
So now you're making $1 million in 24 hours.
Right. So in sales, so $1 million comes in. Of course, so that was $1 million in sales in 24 hours. And the great thing is most people don't even realize this. A lot of people hear about the $1 million day and they know it was sales. They know I paid affiliates. A lot of people say, well, he had to pay half to affiliates and all this kind of stuff. He really didn't make that much money. But really, in less than 7 days, that campaign made $1 million net profit. Wow. So I put $1 million in my pocket in less than a week from that campaign.
Wow.
So it was very profitable, and what's amazing about that, which I'm very, very happy about, and we talked about it off camera a little bit, of course I was happy about the money, of course it was a big accomplishment, but for me, and it sounds really weird, it wasn't really about the money, it was just about getting to that plateau, breaking through. And I remember I called people at 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm like, you're never going to believe how this campaign turned out. And one of the first people I called, he's like, you did $1 million, didn't you? Like, they could feel it. Like, they knew something big was going down.
Wow.
And so it's great. I'm very proud of that day because it has really inspired a lot of people to change their thinking. We talk about the comparison with Roger Bannister and that 4-minute mile, and
Yeah, we're talking about off camera. But
yeah,
most
how many people? What was the circumstance behind that?
Almost 1,000 years of history, from Roman times, going about trying to run a 4-minute mile. Even they tied a guy with a rope with bulls to try and give him extra incentive and motivation. And the belief was the human body could not move that fast physically.
They pulled him with bulls, you said?
No, they had poles behind him with a rope behind him, right? So he couldn't get away. Right?
I got you.
And they had some people gored. There's some brutal stories about how they tried to break this. And the one guy that does it, Roger Bannister, does this. And how does he do it? He sees it and visualizes it over and over and over in his head till something clicked inside of him and it was real. And his body saw it, felt it, and he did it. But after he does it, in less than 12 months, 24 people run, a 4-minute mile.
Unbelievable.
Because now it became certain for people. He provided that opportunity and it busted open. Now high school students run 4-minute miles. And the very same things happen in your industry. Nobody done $1 million. Tons of people have done $1 million.
I've done it multiple times. Of course, Frank took great pride in breaking my $1 million record, which I'm very happy for him, of course.
Yes, of course.
And then, but since then, it's been bested even greater than that. And it's almost like a regular occurrence now. In the industry, it's almost like things weren't very successful if you don't do $1 million right away.
And there's some people now who've done 8-figure days.
Right, exactly. So what's the takeaway though for you? Because obviously you're big on belief systems and beliefs. So what's the takeaway for people listening to this on why that's important? Because if I look back at it and look where I came from and where I went, almost like, man, I wish I could have just skipped the 5, 20,000, whatever, and just had the belief of the million right away.
It would be wonderful to do it. And today, people can get the belief because it's been done already. It's like we don't have to go build an internet. You don't have to go build the streets that you get to drive down. Think how long that took, or the bridge you get to cross. Guys have gone before you. People have given you that opportunity. But you do have to start with the first dollar, right?
Right, absolutely.
You got to get. And so let's talk about that for a second again, because we mentioned it earlier. But I think it's so critical.
So that's a big thing that I teach people. When people come to me and I say, well, how much money do you want to make? And regardless of what that number is, I'm like, okay, well, here's our first goal. Here's exactly what we need to do, and this is what everyone needs to do that's listening to this. Do whatever you need to do with affiliate marketing, running the ads to validate the market, sending it to another site to make some commissions, whatever it is. But your goal is simply to do this. Make $1. That's it. $1 of return. Doesn't even have to be profit. Just $1 coming in that's getting handed to you on a check.
So you see the system actually works, and now it's just about scale.
Well, I think something, I don't know what it is. It's just some kind of untapped thing or whatever you want to call it. But it's not untapped, but it's something with the brain, I think, that connects. And I call it just the whole element of, hey, this works.
It's certainty.
Yeah, it is. So it connects the certainty that, hey, this works. It's only $1, but it's not the dollar that's the important lesson there. It's that it registers with your brain that you went and did this, and then you went and did X, and Y happened as a result.
Right.
Now, if you just do more of X, you should get more of Y, and that's really all it comes down to. Yeah. Sounds simple, but that's really all it comes down to. Yeah. So if you start by making your first dollar, and you can make it, you're 95% of the way there to making $100,000.
I think that's so critical.
Most people just don't realize that.
Well,
but it's
so
the
critical.
truth.
Most people
it really
don't start.
Is the truth.
Some people don't start. They'll even buy a product, but they don't start because in their head they go, well, God, I don't know that I'm going to make enough money for my time and energy right now, or my idea is not strong enough, or it'll never grow into anything. What you're saying is get a result that's real, and that'll give you momentum to get a result that's bigger.
Just get any result.
That's right. And that's your story. I mean, you're going from a story of trying to figure out how to survive to a story of, how do I share the wealth that I've got right now with other people because I want them to have the same freedom I have.
Every result is an asset, good or bad.
Yeah.
There's no success or failure. It's just
as long as you learn something from it.
Exactly. And I always like to say this phrase too. Like if someone has an existing business out there or someone's going to get started in this internet marketing stuff and start doing stuff on any given day that they're on, it's the worst it's ever going to be. Yeah. Because the process of internet marketing, which is so powerful and so easy, is the process of gradual improvement. You can make a minor tweak to your ads, get some more clicks. You can make a minor tweak to your landing page, get more people to buy the thing, or sending it to someone else's site to make more commissions in an affiliate marketing model. Yeah. But so I like to describe it to people as give yourself a pay raise every single week. Spend a little bit of time running a new little test to change something minor in the process to try and improve things.
And how many businesses can you do that in with very little risk?
Exactly. It's the element of Kaizen that the Japanese believe in. That's how they stomped us.
I call it constant, never-ending improvement.
Yeah, exactly. Little, small changes. And internet marketing is the same way. It's so easy to make changes. There's software that'll do the split testing for you. It's whatever works out best. You just start doing more of that, and then abandon the thing that didn't work as well, and then keep improving.
Let's talk about two things as we start to head towards the end here. you became really famous by really using video. And a lot of people say video is going to be hype, but clearly isn't. You did that hybrid page. Let's talk a little bit about video, and then let's talk about where's the web going, and what are people going to have to do to really take advantage of some of the new resources that are coming out, as well as the competition that it brings.
Sure. One of the things that I did in 2004 when I did that launch of that product that did the $1 Million Day was that I took excerpts of the product, of the videos, and had them embedded right there in the sales page that sold the thing. At the time, there were very, very few people doing that, except for like porn companies.
So they were just having written pieces, and you're putting actual
they just had
video
text
clips.
or pictures, and I was putting video clips in the sales material itself, so they could sample the product.
Right.
And obviously, anyone watching this by now should know what YouTube is and the phenomenon that has become. Because the whole learning curve and cost to create video has just come so far down. Anyone can buy a flip camera now, for a couple $100, make their own video, plug it into a computer, and it's instantly uploaded to YouTube. And it's online.
Right.
It's cheap. It's easy. Your grandmother can do it.
Right.
And so video is just a lot more engaging than just text. But it is important to note that people are multimodal. Some people respond to marketing language that's written, some to audio, some to video. But I believe, and most other marketers are finding as well, that a hybrid combination of some video with supporting text and copy is the best way. Because for those that want to watch, they can just click and watch the video. For those that want to read, can read.
Right.
And so a combination of that. So it's obvious that video is a lot.